The ladies of the WNBA have whined and moaned that it's not about one person. Well, okay, for a couple weeks. Right here.
Caitlin Clark appears to be hunted every game. She deals with physicality that
Finally, a player that's worth paying the money for. Caitlin Clark comes along. What do, WNBA? You beat her up.
Their only draw, their only star, and this is the end result.
Many WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem.
Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham going to the officials and trying to, ask for an explanation of what had just occurred. That official completely stonewalled them.
I thought she got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games.
She will be out for 2 weeks minimum following a quad strain.
Handout. We just want to see some fair refereeing because these referees from Temu and Wayfair, they're garbage, bro. I seen better.
It's the Caitlin Clark disrespect. And what I mean by that is you've got somebody who is obviously the
referees not listening to them. They're not listening to the coaches. They're not listening to the players. They're not listening to the fans. They're listening to their stakeholders.
The referees just exposed their hand so bad, bro. They just didn't care no more. They didn't care. The world was watching.
After every single game, WNBA players, fans, coaches are all complaining about the referee.
Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the interest in the Fever and the interest in the WNBA.
It all started with a hit, one that didn't just knock Caitlin Clark to the floor, but knocked the lid off a much bigger problem brewing in the WNBA. For weeks, fans had been noticing it. Every game, Clark took beatings that went unchecked. Elbows, shoves, body contact that went well beyond the usual physicality of the game. But when news broke that she would be sidelined for at least 2 weeks with a quad strain, the reaction was immediate and furious. This wasn't seen as a freak accident. No, this was viewed as the inevitable result of a pattern of neglect. The injury wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. Fans, coaches, and analysts had warned that this was coming, and the league did nothing. Now, the only player drawing national attention is out, and the spotlight has turned onto a deeper issue: the WNBA's officiating crisis. A crisis that may have just cost the league its biggest asset, and could soon cost them far more than they bargained for. What's truly shocking isn't just how often Clark is hit, it's how often it's ignored. Game after game, she's shoved to the floor, body checked like it's a contact sport, and met with silence from the officials. These aren't just rookie growing pains, this is systematic mistreatment. Coaches are starting to say it out loud. Caitlin Clark is not officiated the same way as other top players. It's as if the league's most marketable star has become its most expendable player. Fans see the hypocrisy. Where other stars get protected like fragile glass, Clark is expected to toughen up, even when she takes hits that would earn ejections. In the NBA, referees remain still, as if trained to look away. The result? A disturbing environment where rough play isn't punished, it's permitted. And for Clark, the message is clear. No matter how many records you break or fans you draw in, if the system wants to humble you, they'll do it without ever blowing a whistle. Digging deeper into this controversy reveals something even more alarming than missed calls. The people in charge of officiating might not even be qualified. Reports confirm that a large portion of WNBA referees were pulled straight from high school games. That's right, some of the most high stakes nationally. Broadcasted games are being called by officials without any professional level experience. But it doesn't stop there. These refs aren't calling games based on their judgment. They're following instructions from a shadowy competition committee made up of team stakeholders, general managers, and even marketing voices. This committee isn't concerned with fairness. They're concerned with the image of the league. They've allegedly dictated how physical games should be, what fouls should be prioritized, and even what pace the league should reflect. So when Caitlin Clark's lightning-fast, high-skill style clashes with that plan, she becomes collateral damage. The refs may wear stripes, but they're not the ones truly calling the game. The public can be forgiving of honest mistakes, but what's happening in Clark's games is far beyond that. Social media has exploded with clip after clip of egregious fouls being ignored. The most damning, a moment caught on live broadcast where a referee literally turned his back while Clark and her teammate Sophie Cunningham pleaded for an explanation after a violent play. Not a word was spoken, no gesture of acknowledgement, just stone-cold indifference. Fans have had enough. They've watched her be pushed to the hardwood, see zero accountability, and now, with injury keeping her off the court, they're furious. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a growing reel of evidence that the officiating crisis isn't about incompetence. It's about an unwillingness to protect the one player most responsible for the league's current success. Clark's injury wasn't the start of a conversation. It was the confirmation that something is deeply, dangerously wrong. When news broke that Caitlin Clark would miss at least 2 weeks due to a quad strain, fans didn't just feel concern, they felt betrayal. The timing was the tipping point. It didn't come after a fluke fall or awkward landing. It came after weeks of relentless, unchecked contact. And suddenly, everything changed. The league's silence was deafening. No statement from the WNBA, no acknowledgement of the clear physical abuse Clark had endured. For fans, that silence spoke louder than any press release. It validated what they'd been shouting for weeks. This wasn't a one-off injury. It was the result of negligence. The video clips were already circulating, the fouls, the body checks, the lack of whistles. But now, there was a price. And it wasn't just a bruised rookie. It was lost revenue, viewership dips, and the possibility that the only player drawing national attention might be sidelined permanently if nothing changes. For the WNBA, this wasn't just a crisis. It was a self-inflicted wound. The truth is even darker than bad officiating. It's calculated control. Referees are not acting independently. Insiders have confirmed that the league's competition committee, made up of team executives and stakeholders, is dictating how the game should be officiated. They aren't impartial. They have vested interests in shaping games to suit narratives, branding, or even competitive balance. Referees are told how much physicality to allow, what plays to ignore, and who to favor stylistically. And that's where Caitlin Clark becomes a problem. Her explosive, pace-pushing, highlight-heavy brand of basketball threatens the slower, more physical games some insiders prefer. So rather than adjust, the system adjusts against her. Her hits don't draw whistles, her style isn't protected, and when she challenges the referees, she's met with silence. This is not officiating. Gone wrong. It's a playbook designed to suppress disruptive excellence, and it's playing out in full view of millions. Let's talk about impact, because missed calls don't just bruise players, they change the scoreboard. One of the most egregious examples came during the Fever versus Liberty matchup. Clark was clearly fouled by Natasha Cloud on a drive to the hoop, yet the whistle stayed silent. That single non-call changed the outcome of the game. What's worse, Coach Stephanie White tried to challenge the play, but couldn't. Why? Because she didn't have a full timeout. The system didn't just fail Clark, it trapped her coach in a bureaucratic loop designed to prevent accountability. The replay showed the foul. Fans saw it, broadcasters saw it, the league, silent. And that silence is growing more dangerous, because every missed call chips away at the league's credibility. And when it happens to your biggest star, in the biggest moments, the fans don't forget. They remember, and they demand answers. Where is the league in all of this? Nowhere to be found. As the media, players, and fans escalate the conversation, the WNBA has gone into PR lockdown. No official statements about Clark's injury beyond the medical update. No acknowledgement of the physicality. No support shown to their most important player. And it's this silence that's causing the most damage. Because fans aren't stupid. They know what they're watching, they've seen the injuries, they've seen the missed calls, and now they're asking, what does the WNBA stand for, if not for protecting the players who put it on the map? Clark's injury wasn't a shock. It was the logical conclusion of weeks of mistreatment. And if the league won't say it, fans will. They're flooding social media, starting hashtags, even whispering about lawsuits. The WNBA's silence has become complicity, and that might cost them more than any referee ever could. Let's not forget who we're talking about. Caitlin Clark is not just a promising rookie. She's the economic engine of the WNBA. She was responsible for over 26% of all league revenue last season. Ticket sales, merchandise, TV ratings, social media reach. Clark transformed the league's visibility almost overnight. She had never missed a single game. 185 straight appearances between college and the pros. Until now. And the league let her get hit until she couldn't stand anymore. That's the real tragedy. The WNBA didn't just lose a player for 2 weeks. They lost momentum, trust, and maybe even long-term credibility. And all because they couldn't, or wouldn't, protect their crown jewel. She wasn't asking for special treatment, just fair treatment, and the league couldn't even deliver that. Now, the question is, can the WNBA survive without her? This is no longer a basketball issue. It's a cultural one. Caitlin Clark didn't come into the WNBA demanding to be a movement, but when the whistles stayed silent and the hits kept coming, she became one anyway. What's happening isn't just hurting her, it's sending a message to every girl who dreams of making it to the pros. Even if you break records, sell out arenas, and lift an entire league on your shoulders, the system might still come for you. This isn't about favoritism, it's about fairness. And the system has shown its hand, broken, biased, and run by forces more interested in control than competition. But here's the twist. People are paying attention. They're calling it out. Fans, media, even players from other teams. The WNBA has a decision to make. Fix the system or watch it collapse under the weight of its own silence.